Disneyland Paris during the holidays was truly magical and it exceeded my expectations. I didn't want to leave. It was amazing and we had the best time. I now know why they say Disneyland Paris is the most magical place to spend the holidays. And obviously you guys saw that we had the best time because when we got back from our trip, we had so many DMs, questions, comments, and people asking, how did you guys book this? What made you want to go? And it seems pretty daunting and intimidating booking an international trip. And let me tell you, if I can do it, you can do it too.
She's right.
So by the end of this video, you guys are gonna be professional Paris or international Disney bookers and it's gonna be all good.
Are you messing with me right now?
In today's video, we're gonna go over the food, what to expect, the pricing, the websites, and all of that. So you're in for a ride and you guys are gonna be able to book your next trip and it's gonna be awesome.
I got a very positive attitude about this. Good, me too. Yeah.
First question, is it expensive to go to Disneyland Paris and how is the pricing? Europe isn't cheap and traveling isn't cheap, but you can figure it out like we did. I will say this, we were hosted by Disneyland Paris. Shout out Disneyland Paris. This video is not sponsored, but I went ahead and did the booking process for you guys and priced everything out. We did 3 days at the park with park hoppers and the price for 2 adults was $790 for 3 days. How many days do you need exactly at Disneyland Paris? That's up to you. I know for our friends that traveled with us,
Bonjour, comment allez-vous?
they did both parks in 1 day and they spent the $300 on the Fast Pass, which grants you 1 limited time access to every single ride, you know, get to the front of the line like they do with Genie Plus here.
We're always 2 steps ahead of the mouse vibes.
That's true.
Life, goofy thumbs up.
Nick and I are not like that. We do not want to rush. We don't want to feel frantic and we want to have enough days so we don't tire ourselves out. I thought that 3 days was great. We did the first day, Christmas Day at Disneyland Paris. As if Christmas morning here at Disneyland Paris couldn't get more magical, it just did. We did the second day at Walt Disney Studios and then the third day we bopped around and park hopped between both parks and it was great. I left satisfied. I'm so happy I love this. We went on everything that we wanted to go on and it was a really good experience.
Sorry, I want to cry.
I know that Disneyland Paris sister park, Walt Disney Studios, is going to be a half-day park.
You know that.
We didn't have that experience at all, and please note they just built a brand new Avengers campus in that area with a bunch of places to eat, a bunch of rides, a bunch of things to see and do and shows and characters to meet, so do not sleep on Walt Disney Studios Paris. There's enough to do for the entire day. So how do you guys book your tickets? I cannot stress this enough, and I know it's different for everybody. I never book anything through third-party websites.
Big no-no! Big no!
I booked all of our tickets directly through everything, including the hotel. All of those links will be in the description. And with that being said, if you want to book your trip and your tickets to Disneyland Paris, you're going to go to disneylandparis.com and on the upper right, you're going to choose English. They have it in every single language, but you're obviously, if you're watching this, you're probably going to want to choose English.
Good call.
They have dated and non-dated tickets as of now. When you buy a dated ticket, it's essentially your reservation and you can cancel up to no charge up to 3 days before visiting.
Go on.
Or if you want to buy an undated ticket, this is a non-refundable ticket and you have 1 year to use it, but you have to register your date to visit. I know this sounds very complicated, but also note that an undated ticket is also a bit more expensive.
Beautiful.
So like if you guys wanted to get it as a gift for somebody, you would get an undated ticket and then they can have the freedom to make the reservation as they want. It's kind of a free-flowing ticket. If you're neurotic like me and you want everything down to the day and the time, you're gonna want to get a reserved ticket. Obviously in the future this can change, but as of right now, that's how they do it. And also just like Disneyland California and Walt Disney World, you can link the ticket code on the app so it's all in one place. So now that you've bought and secured your Disneyland Paris tickets, the next question is, how exactly do you guys get to Disneyland Paris? There's a couple different ways that you guys can get into Disneyland Paris. One of them is driving.
Our Uber just got in a car accident.
And the other way is through train. There's a common misconception that even Nick and I were a bit confused about.
People may get the wrong idea.
And that is that Disneyland Paris is not in actual Paris. It's about 45 minutes outside of it. You're probably thinking, oh my God, I have to get on a train in a different country and it's gonna be super difficult.
I don't know, man. That sounds like a lot of work.
Au contraire. You're gonna take the EUROSTAR train into Marne-les-Bains / Chessy train station and it spits you out right in front of Disneyland Paris. And I'm not exaggerating when I say right in front of it. You're gonna walk out the train stations and be like, wow, there's the park. It's actually really cool.
So fetch.
Our friends Chris and Ruby were staying in actual Paris, and they opted to take the train from Paris to Disneyland Paris, both in and out. And for them, it was about a 45-minute train excursion, but we wanted to stay on property and make it a bit easier for ourselves. Mouse Vibes pro tip, you're gonna wanna book these EUROSTAR train tickets way in advance. I believe you can do it about 60 days out. Again, do not use a third party. Go directly to EUROSTAR.com and book those tickets, and then save it to your Apple Wallet, to your Android or whatever, but have them booked ahead of time because they will sell out.
I got it. I got it.
Where did you stay, and would you stay there again? There's 6 on-property Disney hotels and 5 Good Neighbor hotels, so there's a plethora of options for your budget and your needs. If you want to be more fancy, you can stay at the Avengers Hotel.
What is it with you and Spider-Man?
What? He's just awesome, okay?
Right now, the Disneyland Paris Hotel is actually under construction. But by the time you watch this video, it might be done, I'm not sure. We knew that we were gonna be spending majority of our time inside of the parks, and Nick and I usually don't stay at foo-foo hotels when we're specifically traveling to a theme park, so we did opt for a cheaper Good Neighbor hotel.
We'll take it!
That was recommended to us by YouTuber Sam For God. So while the price was cheaper, the experience definitely did not feel cheap. We stayed at Hotel Lycée Val d'Europe. I hope I'm not butchering that. Again, we'll have all the links to everywhere we stayed and all the things we do in the description of this video. We chose this Good Neighbor hotel for a plethora of reasons. And the first one being it was within our price range, and it was significantly cheaper than the actual Disney hotels. Not to mention it was the exact same distance away on a shuttle from the Disney hotels anyway, so it was like
Super awesome.
the rooms were nice and they were newly renovated and super modern. When we checked out the video on YouTube comparing to the other Good Neighbor hotels, this specific hotel just looked a lot nicer and just newer, and you know, that nice clean feel. The next one was a no-brainer, and that was getting the add-on breakfast. It was really nice for Nick and I to wake up and not have to stress about where we were gonna find food. And they had French options, American breakfast options, milk, cereal, anything that you guys need. If you're a picky eater, vegan, gluten-free, they had all of that for you. But most importantly, for me, and I know for a lot of you, I needed coffee. And they had 2 big coffee machines with espresso and lattes and everything.
I'll make it myself right back there with a little lemon twist. It's good. You should try it.
So I was caffeined up, fueled up, really full before I went into the park. It tastes just like my childhood. This is amazing. So happy. Because let's face it, when you're on vacation and you have foggy jet lag brain, the last thing you want to do is fight with your boo and try to find where you're gonna get breakfast. Because that has literally happened to us before and it was not pretty.
Thank you. I'm sorry I got upset. It's probably from jet lag or something. I'm very tired.
And after getting a bunch of coffee in us and fueled up for the day, the best thing was the free shuttle that was literally 2 steps out of the front door of the building. Literally just get on and then go to the park. So would we stay there again? 100%. We love that hotel.
Stay here. Stay as long as you can.
And the best thing is it was centrally located. There was a little convenience store right across, so if you were traveling and forgot something, you can go get anything there. There was a bunch of little stores and restaurants, and there was also a train, so if you wanted to bop around, you can get on the train and go into actual Paris. Not to mention the staff was great. We had great service. We loved it. Cannot recommend that hotel enough. This is a good question that I'm excited to answer. Is there currently anything edible at Disneyland Paris? I went in 2008 and the food was abysmal. So here in the States, we have a big emphasis on theme park food with all the festivals and the food booths and the seasonal offerings, and it's just not really the case at Disneyland Paris. With that being said, they don't have your traditional Disney snacks like they do here at Disneyland Resort. You're not gonna find a big churro, a Mickey pretzel, a turkey leg. They don't really have those types of things, but they have their own way of doing Disneyland snacks. With that being said, the couple things that we really loved was the cheese toasty, which is a croque monsieur, which is essentially this like overpowering cheese melted sandwich that they call a toasty. It was so good. And if you guys know, I am the milk substitute queen of America and I have stomach issues, and I drank whole milk in all my coffee and lattes out there, and I had so many cheese toasties and I didn't have a single stomach issue because in Europe, the food laws are different and they don't have all the processed chemical crap that they do here. I'm just being honest. Don't get mad at me for saying that, but we know it's true.
And everyone knows it.
All of our food in the States is cancer, okay? I really loved the croque monsieur, and I loved the beignets. They had these amazing chocolate stuffed beignets. They were great.
Well, snackaroo. Oh,
Women love that.
We did have a sit-down Christmas dinner at Captain Jack's.
Make sure you store your weapons before you grub.
And the food wasn't amazing, but it wasn't bad. The options were really like filled with like pineapple and unique fish dishes that wasn't really our speed. But I think just like Blue Bayou here, it was more about the ambiance. You were literally sitting where the Pirates ride is. The service was fun. It was a fun experience, but I don't need to go back there. We did really love the food inside of Avengers Campus, but I will say this, I feel like the fast food, grab and go food at Disneyland Paris was better than the sit down experience. And we also asked our friends that ate at Walt's Dining or the Ratatouille restaurant, and they said it was fine, but they also preferred the beignets and the croque monsieurs as well.
1000%. I definitely agree with you on that.
Now that we've talked about whether the food is good or not, let's talk about how the food prices at Disneyland Paris compare to Disneyland Resort and Walt Disney World. So the sit down dining prices were similar to Walt Disney World and Disneyland Resort. Captain Jack's was not cheap by any means, but the price for alcohol, especially at the quick stands, blew our minds. It was about €5 for a beer that you can walk around at the park.
Lucky dog.
And another thing that completely blew our minds, if you guys watched our Disneyland Paris video, is you can get a glass of champagne in front of the castle on Main Street, and with the souvenir glass, it was $15 total.
That's a nice brute. Vibes. I've never had champagne at Disneyland before.
When I got 2 glasses of champagne for Nick and I, and the lady was like,
That'll be €30.
and I was like, no, we got 2. She's like, no. And I was like, that's with champagne and the glass. She's like,
Yeah.
with the glass? I mean, that's really, really cheap. €30 total for 2 big glasses of champagne. Come on.
Like, this was one of the things I wanted to do was go to the champagne cart on Main Street on Christmas Day, and we just fulfilled that wish, and it's delicious, and I love this souvenir glass.
And then that huge croque monsieur toasty was $8, and that can feed 2 people.
$8, and this was worth every penny.
You know, the quick service stands were a bit cheaper than out here. At Disneyland Resort, a beer is almost $17.
What a ripoff.
And out there it was $5, so. What are your top 5 must-dos at Disneyland Paris? There's no way I can narrow it down to top 5, you guys, but I can give you my favorite things of what you absolutely cannot miss when you guys visit. The first thing that you absolutely cannot miss is exploring the Disneyland Paris castle. This castle in particular is regarded as the best Disneyland castle in the world. There's a special surprise underneath the castle, this big dragon that you can go meet. It is super scary, and you're probably rolling your eyes and being like, oh my God, I knew that. A lot of people go all the way to Disneyland Paris. A couple of our friends went all the way there and didn't know that there was a dragon under the castle.
No way.
Do not be those people. Go down there, spend some time. It is super fun. Not only that, you can go to the 2nd level of the castle and see everything out to the Alice in Wonderland hedge maze, and there's so much shopping to do inside the castle as well. Do not sleep on that castle. It's not just to take photos in front of. Go in it, explore it, live in that castle.
Livin.
Next is gonna be Disneyland Paris version of the Haunted Mansion. It is called Phantom Manor, and ooh, it is scary. When you go to a Disney park, you're like,
Oh, it's Disney. It can't be that scary.
no, boo. Phantom Manor had a shooketh. It is deep, it is dark, it is eerie. We loved it. We actually went on it about 3 times because we wanted to soak in every freaky part about this ride. Do not miss it, and get a super cool photo in front of it just because it looks so decrepit and freaky and just like not like anything you've seen at a Disney park. Next, you're not gonna want to miss Big Thunder Mountain. And while they have Big Thunder Mountain in every Disneyland around the world, this one is truly the wildest ride in the wilderness. Oh my gosh, it was so thrilling. The track is longer, it goes underwater, there's more bats, there's more sights, there's more sounds. It is all of the things, and it is super thrilling. And not that ours here in the States aren't thrilling, but this one, it just really gets you there. It's really, really good. You cannot miss this ride. It was honestly one of the biggest surprises of our trip. Next, you're not gonna wanna miss Peter Pan's Lair, Skull Rock.
That is so dangerous.
This is basically a walkthrough attraction where you can like meet different pirates, and there's different lights, and you can take really cool pictures. It was really fun. It's kind of like our treehouse out here or Tom Sawyer's Island, where there's little like horses and bridges and stuff, but it's just really cool just to see Disneyland Paris at a different height. You can go up there and see all of the land. It's really, really pretty. Next is Disneyland Paris version of Space Mountain. This is a steampunk themed ride, and it goes upside down. It is super thrilling. Right now, it is themed to the Star Wars Hyperspace Mountain. I don't really see that changing in the foreseeable future, but it goes upside down and it's just different and really thrilling and unique. And when you go up to it and you see the vibe of it, it's just way different than the ones here. And fun fact, it is the fastest space mountain in the world.
Space Mountain, the greatest ride in the universe at Disneyland Paris.
Next is the entertainment at Disneyland Paris. Oh my gosh, you cannot miss the Disney on Stars parade. We were so lucky to be there during Christmas, and the Christmas parade was like, oh my gosh, I think it was called the Christmas Dazzle Parade. They had different trees light up to different like parts of the music on each float, and it just looked so expensive and grand. And the coolest part is right in front of the castle, they have this big stage in the middle that the characters get off the floats and they go up there and do like a little dance. And it's just different than anything we've ever experienced. But the entertainment out there, they put a lot of time and money into the dances and the costume and the lights, and like, do not miss a parade out there. Even if you're not a parade person, you need to check it out. You might as well if you went all the way to Disneyland Paris.
Les amis, décorons notre sapin de Noël tous ensemble!
Lastly, over at Disneyland Paris is the Alice in Wonderland hedge maze. This is a huge hedge grass maze with all of the different characters from Alice in Wonderland. You can go up to the little house and see all of Disneyland Paris. There's not much to it aside from just walking through it, but it's just unique and something you shouldn't miss. So let's make our way over to Walt Disney Studios right across the way, and something you can't miss there is Crush's coaster. Please be warned, if you get a bit sick or you don't like spinny rides, this isn't for you, but this is essentially version 1.0 of Cosmic Rewind over at Epcot. It's a spinning coaster and you follow Crush and all the Finding Nemo crew, and this was the one ride out there that we actually ended up paying the individual lightning lane, fast lane, whatever. I believe it was about 19 euros because that line was not forgiving. You're not gonna wanna miss Avengers Campus, and this is the newest Avengers Campus in the world, and it has two rides. It has the Spider-Man web slingers.
For Spider-Man? I work with Spider-Man, not for Spider-Man.
And then they redressed Aerosmith's Rock and Roller Coaster to be Avengers Flight Force with this insane animatronic of Iron Man.
Oh, je t'ai dit de les rallumer aussi.
Energizing.
If you saw our video, I cried. I was like, I couldn't even handle how amazing that animatronic in that ride was.
Tony Stark stole my heart. Sorry, I want to cry.
There's a bunch of shows going on at all times, and one of our favorite parts about Avengers Campus over at the Walt Disney Studios in Paris was that they had this training center where in the morning you can get a virtual queue on the Disneyland Paris app, and you can sign up to meet one of your favorite Avengers. And not only can you meet them and take photos with your camera or your phone, they had this like 360 camera with this cool stage that you get your own little video. We got one with Thor. It was one of the best character experiences ever, and it just felt so official being in there.
What are you doing? Help me.
It was truly one of the most magical moments of our trip. And last but not least, my baby, the Tower of Terror. Oh wait, but did you get this too? Tower of Terror. I love the Tower of Terror, and what made it so special in Paris is the fact that Parisians don't care how scared you are or how scary the story is, and this little girl haunts the ride, and it is super, super spooky. We weren't able to film on the ride, but just know we were shooketh. Like you hear the little girl, and she's talking, and
I can't see you. Don't get lost in this dimension.
the queue was eerie, and oh my god, it was such a good ride experience. You have to go on Tower of Terror Disneyland Paris and also get an iconic photo in front of it as well. This is one of my favorite questions that we got, and that is, what was it like celebrating Christmas in a foreign country, and was it a first for you? Nick and I love celebrating different holidays all around the world. We've done Thanksgiving in Mexico, we've done Christmas in Tokyo, and now we did Christmas in Paris, and it was a magical experience, and it's become a new tradition for us to always travel around the holidays. We loved it. I love seeing how different people celebrate it, especially at the parks, and being there on actual Christmas Day was super magical, and everybody was just in the best mood and cheery, and they had garland and lights, and all the characters were dressed up, and it was a 10 out of 10 experience. I cannot recommend it enough. That's gonna wrap up all our questions for how to book your trip to Disneyland Paris. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. We really hope that it helped. If you have any more questions that we didn't get to, we try to respond to every single comment, so go ahead and leave a comment on this video and we will get back to you as soon as we can. And just know in the description of this video, we're gonna link where we stayed for a hotel, the EUROSTAR train, how to book your tickets, and anything that you guys need that we specified in this video so you guys can have a seamless booking trip to Disneyland Paris. If you like this video, give it a big fat thumbs up. It really helps us grow, and if not, thanks for stopping by.